The Arctic Winter Games Warm Up Show is brought to you by Yukon North of Ordinary magazine.
Hi, welcome to the Arctic Winter Games Warm-Up, a show which we hope will get you warmed up and excited about the 2012 Whitehorse Arctic Winter Games.
The opening ceremonies for the 22nd Arctic Winter Games will take place on March 4th, but there is a lot going on in advance in order to make all of that happen.
Whitehorse is getting ready on many levels to welcome 9 regions, 20 sports, and over 2,000 athletes, coaches, and mission staff.
Plus, making things smooth for the 2,500 volunteers that are springing into action as we speak.
But the warm-up for the 2012 Arctic Winter Games aren't just going on in the Yukon. And we'll check out some preparations that are going on in some of the other regions in this episode of the show.
So stick around for the Arctic Winter Games Warm-Up Episode 2.
Lots of interesting things are coming your way. The Arctic Winter Games Host Society held a 50-day-out celebration event on January 14th. We visited the action and talked to a few notable dignitaries who were present.
The theme song for the 2012 Games has been on a journey like no other in order to capture some influence from all the participating regions. We chatted with Artistic Director Daniel Ashley to learn more.
Wrestling has been a sport at the Arctic Winter Games since its inception in 1970. We visited the team trials for both the Yukon and the Northwest Territories to meet some of the athletes and coaches involved in the sport at the 2012 Games.
The Yukon's Chester Kelly first competed in the Arctic Winter Games in 1974 as a snowshoe athlete. He once won a record 7 individual Ulus at the 1978 Games. Both Chester and his wife Judy have participated, coached, and competed in the Arctic Winter Games in many ways ever since the early days of the event. We visited the Kellys at their Whitehorse home to learn more.
So stick around, lots is coming your way on the Arctic Winter Games Warm-Up, brought to you by Yukon North of Ordinary magazine.
50 days prior to the opening ceremonies of the 2012 Arctic Winter Games, the dignitaries gathered here at the Canada Game Centre in Whitehorse to celebrate, and we were there to join the fun.
Only 50 days from now, we'll have the opening ceremonies for the 2012 Arctic Winter Games. And really the excitement is building. People are excited already and it's only going to get better.
The Premier of the Yukon, Mr. Daryl Pozlowski, is excited about the Games.
I'm really excited about the Games. We're only 50 days out. It's time for people who haven't put their name forward to volunteer yet to step up and be a part of this.
I encourage all Yukoners to carry this enthusiasm and team spirit forward to make yet another successful event for Yukon.
Here with Ryan Leaf, Member of Parliament for the Yukon at the 50-day-out celebration. So if I had $1 million from the Canadian government, we'd make these games better. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, it was great today to be able to come and announce the almost $1 million of funding support from the Government of Canada for this.
That's why the Government of Canada is proud to invest nearly $1 million in the 2012 Arctic Winter Games.
A great opportunity for the people and a great opportunity for all the athletes, coaches, and volunteers that are going to come to the Yukon and see what the world-class facilities we have and the world-class venue that we've got. And of course, Yukoners always love playing host to things, so I think they're going to find world-class hospitality here as well.
Whitehorse is no longer becoming an event destination. It is a destination of choice for a wide range of sport enthusiasts.
So do you have any experience of your own with the Arctic Winter Games in the past?
You know, well, we grew up with the Arctic Winter Games just being that core event everybody looked forward to. I never participated in the games. I was a religious runner, really, and I couldn't ski, so that would have been the most likely sport I would have done in the Arctic Winter Games.
Well, I didn't get here in time to participate myself as I was too old, but I can tell you that my son did participate as a hockey player in the Arctic Winter Games in Soldotna when it was held in Alaska. It was a great experience. We all drove down there and cheered them on to a gold medal. It was pretty exciting.
Of course, I grew up with all my friends participating in the games. It was something they look forward to, and to see it build and continue the way it has over the years is just a testament to the volunteers that are across the circumpolar regions that keep these things going.
And not only are volunteers ready for their roles, they are also looking forward to wearing the jackets that come with these roles. What we don't do in this community to wear those jackets, right?
So do you have a volunteer role you've signed up for on the games?
Well, you know, I'm a certified referee, and so you might see me out doing some hockeys.
I'll definitely be taking in as much as I can, and wherever I can help out, I'll be happy to do that.
Right.
I'm hoping to encourage other members of Parliament, some of our ministers, to come to the Yukon. The invitation's been put out to everybody to come in and take in the games, and I know that all members of Parliament across Canada love an opportunity to get to the Yukon. So if there's any way they can make it, I know they'll try hard.
Yeah.
Did you know? The 1978 games that were co-hosted by the communities of Hay River and Pine Point, Northwest Territories are remembered today mostly for the extra effort the organizers put into the games' extracurricular activities. To begin, the games organizers had hoped to capture 300 live ravens to be released like doves at the opening ceremonies, but were unable to capture a single crafty raven despite weeks of attempted live trapping. The games boasted the first golf course in Arctic Winter Games history, and participants were invited to hit a tennis ball around the frozen 9-hole par 34 course. The Inukshuk Disco entertained athletes nightly, and the cultural exhibit featured Killy Frog and Millie Beaver promoting the national program of conversion to the metric system. The official government of the Northwest Territories reception had a theme of the fur trapping era, in which the only seating was spruce logs and the guests were encouraged to dress in bush clothes and moccasins, while they imbibed on high wine, a historical beverage consisting of equal parts brandy, rum, and sherry. For effect, over 20 live rabbits were also included as reception guests. But the most daring event was the Champagne Hold-Up, in which the passenger train en route from Hay River to Pine Point, carrying dignitaries that included Federal Sport Minister Iona Campagnolo and former Governor General Roland Michener, was held up by an outlaw posse on snowmobiles, and the dignitaries were placed in handcuffs. The bandits also delivered cases of champagne that the passengers drank northern style, straight from the bottle for the duration of the trip. In the high spirits of the moment, Minister Campagnolo quipped, "I think I'd like to keep these handcuffs and put them on René Lévesque."
When you take one simple theme song and send it off to the many cultures and languages of the 8 different circumpolar regions, what you get back is quite remarkable. We talked to theme song artistic director Daniel Ashley about the song's amazing journey across the North. So we're here talking with Daniel Ashley, the driving force behind the band Root Cellars, who's also the artistic director of the Arctic Winter Games Song Relay.
What we wanted to do is put together basically the theme song for the Arctic Winter Games 2012 coming to Whitehorse. And we sat down for the first meeting and they said, you know, we have this idea. We want to do something that's like a torch relay, but it's so hard to fly a torch around to all the places in the north. Is there any way we could do this with like a piece of music? Our band, Root Cellars, has been doing stuff like that for the Olympics, for the Paralympics, basically traveling around, gathering different samples and then remixing them into our music. So we wrote a song, like a basic track with some beats and some guitars and some lyrics here in Whitehorse. Then we mailed a video camera that also has some good microphones, so it's an audio recorder. We mailed it to each region and country that participates in the Arctic Winter Games, and we got people to send us stuff over the internet and also by mail, and we took all the sounds and the video clips and we remixed them into the theme song and also created a music video for this song at the same time. We wanted to keep it really wide open for people to, you know, be able to choose sort of how they wanted to contribute. You know, you never know what you're going to get, so every new region was just a total surprise when we opened up the box with the camera in it. We got a wonderful submission from Greenland, so there was a young Greenlandic vocalist, and she actually translated the lyrics into Greenlandic. It basically becomes the second verse of the song now. Which is in Russia, one of the contingents that sent things back. They did a fantastic job. They got really into it. They translated the lyrics into Russian, got a whole choir, this awesome female choir together, re-sang all the lyrics in Russian, and they added a beatboxer. We've had the song relay travel all across the circumpolar north. It's come back to the Yukon, and in the run-up up to the games, the Yukon is actually going to make its full contribution. So Pam Boyd, who's basically the chair of the song relay, she's going to different communities in the Yukon and getting them to make a recording of where they're from, to sing some of the lyrics, to translate them into some of the different First Nation languages we have here in the Yukon, and get some images from the Yukon. So that's our last leg. We launched the song relay exactly 1 year out from the opening ceremonies of the games, so it's going to be exactly 1 year in the making, this project. Once all the athletes have gathered together in the central area at the Canada Games Centre, we're going to come out and showcase this amazing project. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to play the song. I'm going to do some parts of it live, some of the lyrics live. We're going to have some awesome dancers and stuff. There's going to be huge screens on either side of the stage that are going to show images from the relay from across the circumpolar north. And I'm going to be leading the athletes in a sing-along. The lyrics are really simple, but they're a lot of fun. So we're going to unite everybody in song, and each athlete is going to be able to look at that video and see their home region as they've all come together here in Whitehorse for the games. And as we draw to a close of the song, we're going to ignite the Arctic Winter Games torch. So this is kind of going to be the big finale of the opening ceremonies. Is going to be all these voices coming together to ignite the flame that's going to burn all the way through the Arctic Winter Games. And we're going to use music and this song relay as a tool to bring all the people from the circumpolar north together and, represent where they come from.
Did you know? Throughout its history, the Arctic Winter Games has attracted high-profile dignitaries to help celebrate the international circumpolar event, but the rank of the top official present at the Games has varied throughout the years. In Canada, the Games were opened by a federal minister with Iona Campagnolo at Hay River, 1978, and Gerald Regan in Whitehorse in 1980. A territory premier or government leader served as the leading dignitary for the Games. In the case of the Yukon's Tony Pinnickett in Whitehorse, 1992, the Northwest Territory's Stephen Kakfui in Yellowknife, 1998, and Nunavut's premier Paul Okalik in Iqaluit, 2002. The Queen's official representative, the Governor-General, has been in attendance 4 times, starting with Roland Michener in Whitehorse, 1972, Raina Stishin in Slave Lake, 1994, and Adrian Clarkson, both at Whitehorse in 2000 and Fort McMurray in 2004. The Prime Minister of Canada has only been in attendance twice, both times in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Stephen Harper opened the 2008 Games, and Pierre Trudeau himself cut a dashing figure on the streets of Yellowknife at the inaugural Games in 1970. The teams across the north are picking their athletes that will make the trip to Whitehorse for the 2012 Games.
We visited the wrestling trials in the Yukon to see how that is coming along.
Well, Well, my name is Mary Jane Allison, and I'm the female coach for the Yukon Arctic Winter Games team, and I get to roll around on the mat with the athletes. Once they show up here, we're going to weigh everybody in, find out which categories they fall into, and if anybody winds up in the same weight category, we're going to have a wrestle-off where we find out who gets to be part of the team.
So what is the state of female wrestling here in the Yukon?
Females are very welcome on the mat, and they are very much a part of the wrestling team.
I'm Bruce Ross. I'm the coach for the male team for the Arctic Winter Games 2012. A lot of good wrestling programs for the elementary school, but unfortunately there's nowhere for them to go after that. And so we'd like to, with the Yukon Wrestling Association, we'd like to offer some more opportunities for them after elementary school.
This is going to be the first time we're actually in the Arctic Winter Games in almost a decade, so it's really something that the athletes here are looking forward to. It's the first time we've actually had older wrestlers. Here in the Yukon, it has been really dedicated to the elementary schools in the last 7 years, 8 years, something like that. There really hasn't been many older wrestlers, so it's really exciting to have the Arctic Winter Games as an opportunity for older wrestlers to become involved again.
What could the audience expect in the week of the games for the wrestling?
The wrestling venue is at Yukon College, the gymnasium there, and it's a perfect venue for wrestling because we can set up and we're good for the week. We have 3 days of competition. The first 2 days, the first day is the team competition where teams go head to head. We have 6 teams entered, 64 athletes so far who are entered into the wrestling venue. We have on the second day of competition, which is the Wednesday, we have the individual event where individuals in each weight class will go in a round robin competition against each other. And then the very last day, it is the Inuit wrestling, traditional Inuit wrestling, where all the freestyle competitors come together and wrestle off in a traditional Inuit style.
Get in, grab the nav, right away.
How's the trial's been going today?
Yeah, I think everyone's really enjoying themselves. I think for a few of them it's their first real tournament, so it's a big learning experience. To be honest, I was really surprised at how many communities have sent wrestlers this year. We're kind of at a rebuilding phase, so there's not any powerhouse teams from anywhere, even Yellowknife. Like, we're trying to rebuild and get some teams going in different places, and so numbers are low, but I've been really impressed with some of the skill that I've seen out there, a lot of talent and a lot of heart.
I'm Diane Marin. I'm from Yellowknife and I've been wrestling for 8 years. This will be my 9th. I went to the Arctic Winter Games in 2008 and 2010, and I medaled in both tournaments. Almost every year I'm the only girl, so I'm always wrestling with the guys, but I get a lot of benefit from it. Like, I'm the one who benefits from it, so it's always good to wrestle with new people, and like there's always more competition. When you're competing against other teams that like you've never met before, it's like you always benefit from it, whether if you win or lose. Like you learn how to be a team.
I think the Arctic Winter Games are important because they give you the opportunity to meet people from throughout the North, people coming from the same backgrounds, the same challenges, and the same successes. They succeeded in making the team and they've made it there, and the sportsmanship and the friendships that you make going to the Arctic Winter Games last forever. I want to wait and see who ends up making the team, and I think there'll be a few surprises and there'll be a lot of sweat and a lot of effort, and we'll see what the other teams bring.
Did you know? The Hodgson Trophy has been awarded at each Arctic Winter Games since 1978 to the contingent whose athletes best exemplify the ideals of fair play and team spirit. The trophy is awarded based on voting by participant athletes, coaches, and officials. The distinctive trophy, which was donated in 1978 by Northwest Territories Commissioner Stuart Hodgson, one of the game's original founders, is a piece of Inuit artwork made from soapstone and an ivory narwhal tusk. The Hodgson Trophy has been awarded at each Arctic Winter Games since 1978 to the contingent whose athletes best exemplify the ideals of fair play and team spirit. The trophy remains on permanent display at the Yukon Sport Hall of Fame in Whitehorse, and a framed photograph of the trophy is presented to the winning contingent at the closing ceremonies of each Games. The Yukon has won the Hodgson Trophy 6 times, the most of any contingent, followed by current trophy holders Alaska with 4 awards. Nunavut has won the award 3 times since becoming an independent territory in 1999, and the Northwest Territories and Greenland have each won the award twice.
Chester and Judy Kelly have been involved with Team Yukon for the Arctic Winter Games since the early 1970s. And both have won multiple medals, acted as coaches and organizers in various capacities ever since. We visited them in their White Horse home to find out more.
So we're sitting here in the lovely home of Mr. and Mrs. Judy and Chester Kelly.
Chester Kelly is a 31-year-old engineering inspector for the Yukon Department of Highways. Born in Aklavik in the Northwest Territories, his family moved to the Yukon when he was 2. Chester was raised in Dawson City and grew to become one of the most prominent athletes in the territory.
My pressing question is, did you guys meet at the Arctic Winter Games?
No. No, we didn't.
Wow.
We're Dawson City kids and we met there, went through school together.
So what's the first Arctic Winter Games that you can remember?
1974 is the first games that I went to, and I can still remember going to those games in Anchorage, and I think the first for Judy was what, 1980?
I think it was 82, and all of my games were snowshoeing.
1980 I was actually on the biathlon team, and I think there is a caption of me doing training for biathlon, and that was my first attempt at it, and I went into biathlon for the next, I don't know, three or four games, and then back to snowshoeing.
Chester is the all-time medal winner in the Arctic Winter Games competitions. Over the years, he has captured 11 Ulus, all in snowshoe racing. In a stunning and unprecedented performance in the 1978 games at Hay River Pine Point, Chester entered 7 races and won 7 Ulus, a record that will never be matched, as racers are now permitted to enter only 4 events.
So these actually aren't all the medals you have, I understand.
No, they are the first medals. I think we start at 74, and I think we've got medals to 92. And they're probably all of my medals, which are on the left-hand side there, but they're not anywhere near all of Chester's medals because they're put away in a good, safe spot that I haven't gotten to yet.
So I understand that you have children that have also participated in the Arctic Winter Games?
Yes, we have. We have 2 children, a son Michael and a daughter Cheryl, and they have both participated. Some of the times with us and some with one of us or the other of us. 1990, we had a full family contingent. Our youngest eligible grandchild is in soccer this year. So they're carrying on the Kelly name.
Through all the years I've been competing, there's other individuals like myself that came from Alaska and Northwest Territories, so you end up meeting them in competition, and you become friends, and this attachment kind of goes on.
We went in road relay year after year after year, and that's where we met them again, was at the road relay, and say, okay, are you going to Arctic Winter Games this year? Yeah, okay, I'll see you there. I'm going to kick your butt.
Has a lot changed in the Arctic Winter Games these days?
It's gotten larger. Oh yeah, it's. I think the essence of competition between northern communities is still there, but I think it's gotten much larger.
Contingents are that much larger, and when we first went, it was the Yukon, Alaska, and Northwest Territories.
For years and
now
years.
they've gone to Greenland and Russia, and northern Alberta, and I think a Sami country even, and they've gone from adult and youth to strictly youth games.
It's a lot of exposure for a young person coming out of a small community that hasn't really been involved in, gone any further than their hometown, and get to go to another place or gathering of all these athletes. It's they meet new friends and see how it's done, and it's fairly well organized, and and very competitive. So it's a good incentive for a person to be involved, and if they want to go further, it's a good test of their skills.
Yeah.
I train to win in this competition, but if I don't, well, it's just the idea of competition is what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us on the show, and remember there's only a few more weeks until the games begin.
Be sure to visit www.awg2012.org to find out how you can be involved with the 2012 Arctic Winter Games. Till next time, I'm Chris.
And I'm Tracy. Thanks for joining us in the Arctic Winter Games warm-up. And remember, play your part. The Arctic Winter Games Warm-Up Show is brought to you by Yukon North of Ordinary magazine.